So those who just joined, this is our latest room for our faculty. We use this for special occasion, such as this is presentation. You see it's like full screen, right? So when students will present, they will need to decide the layout, how they're going to present it. Back then we used to use only printout, but then we kind of like move forward to use all digital. So each group will have like a send in the WhatsApp, right? Around like 15 to 20 minutes for presentation. I hope everyone has a chance to talk, to present the involvement and the thoughts. And after that, we will have a comment from 3 commentators. And after that, there will be a closing ceremony after that. And we have lunch after that. So just take it easy today because it's the last day of the workshop. Yeah? And after that, you can enjoy the Asai Expo later tonight.
So what's the sequence, like group by group number? Group 1 go first?
Anyone want to volunteer for the go first? Anyone volunteer for the first group? And
First
then
group ready?
The first group can pick the letter. So who volunteer to be the first one?
Can we go like by group number? Number 4?
Okay, group 4.
Backward.
Huh?
It's not ready yet.
It's
Not ready yet.
So group 4, which group you want to be first? Fundamental. Okay. Can you check the 5?
Number 2 go first.
Okay. We check the 5.
Do we really need it?
Okay, maybe turn on the fan.
No, anyone hot? I think the weather is fine. Okay.
Or maybe because I want to ask.
So if we decided which one go first, we can open up the presentation part.
Okay, so the group can check the file. You check the file, please.
Spread out. This one. Spread out. Coming
Probably have to kind of prep up the student. Is there a remote control or they need to just one day? White was white. Big action. Big speed, big across the street.
Okay, so maybe.
because I think
the bag, yeah.
So maybe.
yeah, okay, then we switch between both of them so we can sort out like
the group. What's another group now? What's another group? Okay, the group 2 will go first, okay?
Who's next?
So what group 2, which group you choose to be the next after your group? After that? Okay, anyway, so it's okay. I think I will brief the judges a little bit before we begin. Okay. So this before beginning a briefing, I'll introduce the commentator first, okay? So we today we have a guest for the commentator from who is local architect, and also we have a guest from Malaysia too. So first one, maybe introduce architect Hasrada from China. Can you give a hand, please? Her firm is quite really up and coming, so it's really good to have her here today. And also the other one is architect Owat Patanuson from Niwan Architect. City planning and city policy maker for the city too. And also we got the one from Pam, architect Arita from Red Architect. So actually he's not pure Malay, he's a half Thai too, so that's right. So for the judges, commentator, not judges. Okay. So the project is because it is a LDD large study sports workshop. So usually we pick the city and we do an experience, right? And then so this year we come to Chiang Mai because it's heritage theme for ASA Expo next year. So we try to pick the keywords that related to this city. So we use the word city, rejuvenating people, creative city, and we can build a new program and reconnecting the new context to the old context. And then the site, I mean the local, we're really familiar with this area. It's around Water Road Market. We have a bridge swimming to Water district. And this is just the demographic. Let's go fast, okay? So you can get after this. So the keywords for this workshop. So the task resident they will go investigate on both sides. So they will select their proposal, the both sides, what they want to do around this area, and then they will propose a new design. Okay, this is the route that they walk around, and then this is design parameters for them. So existing structure may be reprogrammed or demolished if deemed necessary. The new permanent structure may be proposed. Street can be level, pedestrian existing landscape can be redesigned, and events will be welcome to introduce you to place. Okay, so that's just a brief. So maybe the second group can go first. Okay.
We probably need a timekeeper.
Also. You want to mic?
Okay, start the clock.
Good morning to everybody. So this is my group. We are from group 2. I am Dominic from Malaysia, Utah University.
I am Shiva from Thailand.
I'm Clifford from National University of Singapore.
I'm Arvin from Indonesia.
Would you like to introduce your mentor?
And our mentor is Miss Zenru from Singapore. So I'll start our presentation now. We give a name for this project. It's called Tonyon at Pink River. Tonyon actually means to relax, to chill, because we feel that this river actually is something alive to Chiang Mai people over here, especially to Waroro district and Wet Kat Karam district. So we actually want to have a new lifestyle along this river. So before I start with our proposed activity and program everything, I'm going to address the first issue that we see in this site. The first issue that we notice in this site is very obvious, is the difference of the first issue is we notice that this ground and this side, Waroro district, and this side, they have a different ground level in height. So this side is like very high and this side is low. And what is happening over here, we cannot see from Wat Kat Karam district. So people will tend not to, they don't know what is happening here. So nothing will attract them to come over here. Then another issue that we notice is there's an existing promenade over here, but it's not continue along the street. So we try to have another solution with it. Then another third issue is we notice that there's lack of green, lack of landscape over here. Whereas for this side is okay, we have a lot of green, but we just need more improvising. And another thing is the pedestrian bridge that you can see that connect from here to these two sides. There's only one pedestrian bridge. Its functional is good, but it's lack of design only. So we just need to put more effort in design maybe to attract people to use the bridge so that they can connect from both sides. So this is the elevations that we show, the long elevation, we show the whole stretch of Waroro markets. And for our design, we're going to take the local culture, the local lifestyle, the handmade craft item, everything as an inspire, such as the weaving of the bamboo basket, the craft, the elephant crafting, all the, so as part of our inspiration for our whole design. Right. So I'll pass on to Ari.
Now we have our site plan, and there are many places of commercial area, district area, and traditional area. But we have to aim
to be connecting about of the site. Just this is my issue. This is our issue, and our goals and our visions about connecting among commercial area, Chinatown, and another side to connecting area and religious area. From next. Next, we turn to case study for our.
So you guys might have the overall picture of what Garam and Waroro market in your head. Like what's the issue there, what's the problem that we are trying to fix. So let's take some look into what other countries try to do with this problem in their country. We provide you 3 case studies. The first one is Cheonggyecheon Stream in Korea. The second one is Calvert Wave in Copenhagen. And the last one is Bishan and Mokyo Park in Singapore. This is the layout plan of the Cheonggyecheon Stream in Korea. You can see that it's a long canal waving through the Korea or the Seoul town, right? Actually, this one was built in Chosun area like 800 years ago, and people still use it until today. It used to look like this. If you have been to Bangkok, you know that this looks like the old Kongtong in Bangkok. But this is like creating a pollution to Korea Canal. Therefore, the government tried to shape it into something better for Korean people life, something better for the community. So they came up with this idea to change it into a common space for Korean people to like enjoy their time here, a place for gathering people. Therefore, it turns to be this prototype. Like they try to make it look like they have the river bank that people can walk around and they can cross the canal. And if they don't want to go down to the canal, they can cross the bridge here. And this is the final look of it right now. You can see that it's totally different from the last 20 years. And Korean people is now using this as a community space, a common space for them to gather around and sit and talk and exchange. So this is quite successful in Korea. Let's go to the Copenhagen in Denmark. Copenhagen is a river town as well. And actually this river used to be contaminated with the pollution, like the chemical thing. So Copenhagen government was asking themselves what they can do for Copenhagen people. So they came up with this simple structure, but as it moving up and down, it turns into a place where people can like park their boat. It can be a slider for people to go to the river. It can be a sitting place for them. You can see that it's really simple in shape, but it's really useful for them because as you can see that they can use it for like day bathing during the daytime. They can use this simple structure for a walkway, for a sightseeing. So this is quite a successful one as well in Copenhagen. And the last one is the Bishan Park in Singapore.
Okay, it is here for Singapore, and our we think this is a best precedent for our project here. There are so many features about this. For example, there is a playground, Dutran, recycle hills, riverside gallery, naturalized river, common sacred, purple heron, and just a precedent for prototype and in our design. Yeah. So,
now I'll be talking about the design strategy of this project. So, looking at the past 3 case studies, as well as some inspiration from the market area, we decided to use this consistent language of organic and curvy linear forms, which was inspired by some of the things that we saw at the market side of the site, such as the Dala style architecture, the weaving and the basket and handicrafts, which are common activities at the market. And so one of the strategies of this project is to really soften the edge of the river, because right now the river edge is very hard. And so with this keyword of softening the river, we decided that these curvy linear forms are the best architectural motifs that we can use to do this, to accomplish this. And secondly, we want to redesign and reimagine this pedestrian bridge to attract these pedestrians, and so that they will have motivation to cross the other side of the river, because as of now, most of them just stay here, and just stay here. And there's no connection, as my friend has mentioned. And thirdly, we are introducing a new floating experience for the locals and the tourists in the waterfront, which my teammate Ari will be elaborating on later. And finally, we'll be extending the existing pedestrian wall of the riverfront, just like how it's done in like Cheonggyecheon in Korea. And so that people can have more activity spaces to engage in things like watching a movie by the river, or perhaps going down the river, or having a jog by the river. So now my teammate Dominic will talk about the concept diagrams.
Okay, this is generally the lines and everything, the concept diagram that we get inspired from what we see around Chiang Mai. So first of all, just now I talked about the different imbalance of height, the ground level and the height. So technically here is high, here is low. So now we are trying to trim it to become equalized. So by trimming, we try to we make it almost the same. So here we're trying to propose have things everything so that people can sit around. And over here actually is a slope, but we can add on the ground and everything to make it another seat thing, so it will be equalized, and so that they have the same language and relationship for both sides. And another thing is rigidity, because there's a river, but right now the river is like very rigid, very rigid, yeah. So we are trying to make it like more fluidity, trying to connect back to the river. So we're trying to change the profile of the bridge, everything. So maybe we make it more fluidity. And this one, after changing that, we're trying to connect each other. So we have maybe platform, we have this boat, a floating device things, so trying to connect both sides. So after that, we're going to have layering, which is the staircase, everything. So it's like the contour of the ground. Another thing we trying to do is the modular, because we see a lot of bamboo item they use for local handicraft. So the modular stuff. And we see people weaving on the street, everything. That's the gesture, how they do it. So all this combined together is like interlocking, like connection. We have like interlocking of culture, everything, and also as well as something like related to organics. And the last one is the water and buoyancy. We feel that this is something new, can be introduced to Chiang Mai River. So we feel that buoyancy is quite something interesting that people will want to try. So we will put something on for buoyancy. And with that, we try to introduce some platform, a floating platform. When it comes to that platform, we try not to pollute the water as well. So we think of another, we integrate them with maybe a filtration device, and with the buoyancy and the floating device and the filtration system, which we try to take care of the environment as well. So maybe the residue or the dirty stuff from pollutant item in the river can be cleaned through.
And then here's a fun section showing a few activities. So basically, as you can see from our rentals over here, at night the pedestrian street around Aurora Road Street becomes closed off to traffic, so it becomes like a night market. And so part of our strategy is really to create this, activate the space along the edge of the river so that people coming from the market, they can maybe bring their food over and sit down on the terrace steps here and watch a movie at the river and engage in like night market activities. So it's to really like stretch that this side of the road over so that even the entire river becomes activated. Now I'll pass the time to Yumi and Ari, who will talk about the floating structures.
Now the last slide, I want to tell you about floating structure and last concept. Okay, about our project here, especially about our boats, we may use technological innovations for floating construction, namely a floating. This structure multi-purpose floating construction. There are many advantages. First, easy to install, friendly environment, strong and durable, which can be recycled 100%. Second, acidic liquid, ice, water, corrosion, chemicals, and ultraviolet light. And third, there are which can be recycled 100%. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. This is all.
So maybe a commentator and maybe ask question first. And you can comment.
Okay, right. How many days that you create this?
You will be amazed.
One day, it's like if I back when I was a student, it would change my whole semester. Yeah, incredible. I mean, I'm very impressed of your creativity and then your effort and then the very nice presentation. Especially you can cover all of the keywords that have been given to the program. Rejuvenating, reconnecting, heritage, new program, and then people. Because as a local people, we really lack of this kind of space in our city. And I was always jealous of the other countries that they can have this kind of space in their city. So I like the way that you choose to connect two sides of the river by creating the waterfront and then integrate the green idea, because it's really important, not only nice design, but it has to come up with the environmentally friendly design also. So the green idea that you connect is really good. I like the floating, I like the way it is possible to be produced as a filtration floating one. Yeah. It's always nice to see the fresh idea from the new generations, because this is what we are lacking in our city, and we have to push this idea toward the people that have power in their hands, like the mayor of the Chiang Mai municipality. So I hope that at the end of this program, if Ajahn can collect all of the 14 and then propose something, I can connect with the man, because he's my friend. Yeah, to at least have something happen. Yeah. At least have something happen. I like it. Yeah, thank you.
Which you can give it to the city,
Yeah.
For me, it's really nice to have the festive idea because in River Italy, this scale is quite wide and not used in daily routine anymore. All of the case study is come from the developed country and they have different context of the program, right? Like in Korea, that Chong Mason is in middle of the cityscape. People can walk and live in the subway, and also in Copenhagen, right? They have the summertime. They spend time in the outdoor. So I think when you but it's very nice. Only one thing. I think around 80% of the user from rural market is really local. You try to know when people is come from another side and they spend all the day with the red truck, the yellow truck. I think this program really perfect. We think a lot and we think we are very complete. Just another thing that we should prepare the space for the local. For the tourists, it's very nice also. It's really nice already. But for this side, 80% is local, and for that side, the main activity that's happening, if we say it's going to be someone fishing all the time or something, so you can add that kind of program. It's going to be a really funny program that you can mix the tourists and local, use share the space together. It's going to be really nice. For now, it's okay already.
Okay, I just to announce to everybody that this is my third LDD since Indonesia, Kuala Lumpur, and then this is Chiang Mai. So Ari Pandi, Indonesia, Clifford, Singapore, Dominic, Malaysia, Nakanya from Thailand, congratulations. And then you should thank you to your mentor. Thank you. Because that's why I say I'm sorry to other group because this group killed you all. Sorry for that. Okay, my comment, we will divide into 3 divisions. I'm talking about the IQ, EQ, and SQ. I hope everybody will understand what I'm trying to say on that. IQ is about intelligent quotient. EQ is about your emotional quotient, and SQ is about your spiritual quotient. Life design discourse is about that approach because as a student, it's amazing that when you participate in this program, within 1 day, they provide this type of pitching ideas. So this I'm trying to comment. It's not comment, it's a deliberation. So that you, as you know, that you are a future architect. Sometimes we believe that when you want to pitching ideas, you won't take long because the idea will take long. It's not a fresh idea. Sometimes within an hour, it's a good idea to implement. So now I'm talking about the SQ part, spiritual quality, where I foresee yesterday when I came over, I saw the groups. Spiritual quality is about the teamwork. There are 4 of you, different background, culture, different language, and then you combine 4 of you, 4 nations, then you work as a team. When you work as a team, I have to be honest with you as a mentor that you choose not a hard way, you choose a smart way to produce this presentation. This is something remarkable. As a 4-nation country combined, you just went there to the site like a couple hours, and then you combine, and then guided by mentor, and then you can produce this type of presentation. Because I believe, as a student, all of you, when you do the presentation like this, always come to the 3 method. It's about 3 I. First I is about information. Well done. Informations. Second is about illustration. Well done. You have that. The third one is about impressive. So that's about the SQ part. On EQ part, emotional quotient, that I heard this group, you done tremendously work on time. So you control your emotional. Because 4 of you, can you imagine, you went to the site a couple hours and you produce within not even 1 day, I suppose, and then you control your emotional quotient. Because doing this program, 4 nations, 4 backgrounds, somehow or other, guys, we have a conflict among us. So you need to control your emotion. So as an architect, emotion quotient, you have to control your emotion because we are dream makers. What you provide is, you provide the dream for Chiangmai people. But now, talking about intelligent quotient, it's what information that you provide. For me, I love this idea because it's completed with the case study. Because when I go back to my country, when I present my client, and of course the authorities, they love to see the case studies. How to compare in Korea, where I've been there, I told your mentor I've been there. And then in other countries that you showed just now, even my country as well, I hardly to approach my authorities. And you are so lucky, one of our commentators can bring the proposal to talk to authorities, to many I suppose. So this is something that, for me, after LDD in Indonesia, LDD in KL, I have to announce to Art, I think this is the best. Congratulations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Maybe any comment from mentor? Because we're supposed to have a response from the mentor.
Yeah.
Really congratulations. I think that you guys did like a wonderful job. I mean, as a working architectural professional, I really want to stress to the students that it's very vital for you to control your time because you don't want to work like so crazy towards the end of your life because you realize that you have other commitments like your family, like your friends, like your other activities, which then you can also get inspiration for your architecture. So I'm not trying to get you guys to burn out. The idea is for you to love what you're doing. A lot of architects, I think 50% of my cohort is burnt out because they really put in too much hours thinking that this is like the best thing to do. I think that you guys should like draw it like slowly enjoy it, have a slow meal, think about architecture as a life, So I think especially in terms of this kind of workshop, it's really incredible that you guys can put it out in 1 day, but a lot of problem management is very useful. It's good that you guys could start off with like maybe like a layout to think what is your objective, how you want to produce. This will help you in the future. Then I think you can get like very high resolution stuff in very short, precise time, and do other nice stuff like go to the cafe, relax, yoga, life is very short, guys, So just control your time well, then you can get good results.
Next group, we already have the typical up. The next.
Which group is it? Group number 1.
Okay, group number 1. We check the.
ใช่อย่างนั้นก็ได้เพราะว่าดูเหมือนมันก็เริ่มไทยขึ้นมาเรื่อยๆคุมเวลาไม่ดี
Anyone who want to go grab a break, you can just go and grab it and come back, okay?
Okay, start. Start the clock.
Okay, hi, good morning guys. So today we're going to present our project on Chiang Mai. I hope I got the pronunciation right. So I'm Jonathan from Singapore.
I'm Lily from Indonesia.
I'm Alif from Malaysia.
And I'm Patricia from Thailand.
Okay, so the concept of actually San Chiang Mai is actually to break down these sort of layers in Chiang Mai. So there we go. Yeah. So the idea is actually one thing we notice about Chiang Mai is the urban sort of fabric of Chiang Mai has very different sort of layers. You have the old original city wall, the next layer is the earth wall, and then you have the roads and even the long highways. So it's a bit like the Thai dessert, like Khnom Chan or Kueh Lapis, if you guys call it in Malaysia and Singapore. So the idea, what we want to do, the key idea is actually to sort of just break down these layers. We don't want distinct layers. The idea is to sort of weave them and overlay them. Yep. So we drew the analogy from the original city wall. So the city wall is similar, just like a layered thing. And what we wanted to do is to further break down these layers, like how the city wall can sort of be broken down over time. Alright, so I think this illustration is a bit more clearer. So what you can see actually in this graphic is how there's this clear sort of division of each of the different layers. The river layer, the walkway, as well as the transport layer. And what we try to emphasize is the opportunities, which Lou will go into detail.
Okay, so I will describe the SWOT analysis. So from this diagram, we want to show that the strength of the site is it has a visual point, that it has cultural richness, which is both sides of the river have their own uniqueness. And for the weakness, there is like a connection between both sides, which is even though they have this bridge, even though they have the riverside, but we feel like the connection is not maximized in this area. And so we will look for the opportunity that the bridge for the connectivity is safe, and the pedestrian way along the riverside. And so the material we can use is the well-known material already in the site. For example, bamboo and the bricks for the famous wall from there.
and from the thread is the water level. So we don't want to make something too rigid on the river that can disrupt the flood, the water flow. And
okay, we just want to present about the river and then the okay, here we can see we have some vista we see from the bridge, and then for drop off from the market, and then in the bridge you have some vista over there to see our what. And then it is the actual view of the sun. You can see we have nicely not nicely water over here, and then the water just flowing by here, the wastewater we just go up to the river and make it not really good to the view of the city. And then there is another part of the site is we have some platform over the side over the river, but this concern different platform actually using for the boat drop off, but in this season the water level is going down. That's why it's meant to be abandoned for this season. You can use for drop off some boat. You can have a baby center. Okay, for we know about the culture from Jerman. We have some market here. The activities we sidewalk over there, we can see they just sell about the flowers, about the food, some stuff over there. You can see for the famous culture part in the Chiang Tam Grove, and then like the one this festival already used in Chiang Mai in the November. In November, and then for this event, they don't have a proper one start to doing this one, but people and tourists come to Chiang Mai to play this festival, but the proper place we don't have it, and we but yeah, these are our what we want to bring. Our ideas
to the design. So from the overall picture, you can see like the urban fabric is there is a big figure from the west side of the river, and then gradually like turning to like a small fraction into the east side of the river. So this is the point, and I would say like on this side of the river, there is the more dynamic activity occur on this side. Meanwhile, on another side is consists of mostly the conservative area, mostly the residential area, and like we did some research on that, and it turned out like on that side, most of the commercial spaces they will turn the old building into the new one. Let's say like a bar or cafe, and as you can see, like there is the one temple there, which is I think that there is the perspective that you can see like the visual linkage that you can perceive from the on the bridge to the stupas there. And so we decided like to open up this area by rearranging the contemporary flower market here to open the visual linkage to open the visual linkage from the street here, that the visitor can like perceive the view up to like the other side. And also this area will be like going to be the main intersection where people can like gathering here, and the main transportation will be open here. Since our design is like we also concerned about the proper drop-off area for the main transportation, so we propose the proper drop-off area for the hotel. And also this area will connect like land to water transportation. So we relocate the boat here from another side to this side instead, so the visitor and the local can like easily access to the another kind of transportation. And let's break down to the program. As I say, this area we provide for the transportation, and this area as this is the market, right? So people can do like their shopping along the road market and Kolongjai market, and then like go cross the road to the floating flower garden and craft market to do like continue the shopping of course. And we provide also the outdoor amphitheaters for the tourist purpose. But then when we cross another side, as I say, like this area is more like a residential area, more community. So we propose the multi-purpose space provide for both the local and also for the tourists. Because as I say, it's a multi-purpose, right? So this space can be like turn into another kind of area that serve the different activities. Let's say during the Thai people usually go to the temple, and then like after that we doing like they can walk back and doing on the pier around here. And also as we did the research further, we like this kind of area people do like fishing, so it's like people can like go like gathering around doing a picnic or chit chatting during the evening, or people can do also like fishing and important event can occur around here. So here is the overall design. As you can see, like we try to integrate the green features into the project, but which we aim to like boost up the atmosphere. Because at the end you can see like formally it's like just a big chunk of concrete. Flood prevention wall, and we try to like add some green space to like the soften down the atmosphere. And also we provide, and this area is the outdoor amphitheater, which is also can turn to be like another kind of space later on the time. And for the section here, we show the linkage between the two sides of the city. Every time like giving two sides down by and the bridge is the main tool of our proposal. Our conclusion.
Alright, so to conclude, I think what we really were aiming for was actually to take a step back away from the architecture itself and just looking at how the urban fabric of Chiang Mai, how can we actually bring it back and how can we better integrate it. So when we're looking at the river, we talked about the soft layers of the landscaping, the hard layers of the brick, and of course the fluid layer. And what we really wanted to do was actually, if you look at the map, how the most prominent layer itself is the river, and so how all these layers weave together and sort of create like a new regeneration as like a starting point for regeneration in Chiang Mai. And yeah, so what the total aim was actually to start this as a stimulus, as a build-up space, where people will come and when they see this example of it, they utilize the space, they sort of interact and get to know the space better, how they can better influence it back into the actual urban fabric of the original city. Yeah, thank you.
They haven't said who's the mentor.
Oh, okay.
We'd like to thank Ms. D for her mentoring and all her advice. Thank you so much, Ms. D.
Still processing.
Actually, the previous and now is very simple and like introducing the river still focusing on the final. What is the first thing that we focus to add? Like choose out the first thing.
The first thing?
Yeah, the first priority that you want to change the image, or what is the first thing you care?
Dealing with the whole the river right now is just like a void, hard space. How do you break it down for people, break it down for two communities to come together? So yeah, I think that's when we picked up the different layers, so like fused together.
It's like we have A side in this west side, and we have C in this side, so we're making the piece. Something like that. Yeah.
We just implement first in the second side, that side is more to the residential one, and then here is the economical one, and then they not really connect, and then we just blend it more to make it connect.
For overall view of the presentation, I try to get what I want to do with the area, but for me, if you focus in something like if you push it to the most potential that you can play, like okay, if like the previous group they focus on something like floating in the rivers and connect between, right? If this program is quite, if you focus on something like a bridge, you want to do something with the bridge and you focus on it, and you get a very strong image or program with the bridge, it's going to be more nice than it's people going to get more clear idea for you. Or if you focus on the garden or the landscape, so you should show it like a more clear idea for me. But overall, the program is okay already. But I really expect that I'm gonna see something like really like a heavy with some. I expect that you're gonna do something with the bridge because something that you want to do, right? Yeah. But you should do something with the bridge because I want to break that bridge also. So yeah. The program, right? Yeah. Need to have something about that. Yeah. Yeah, I just expect that something that very strong in some part, and all the presentation show the brief is quite like you want to show something, but I think what say something.
Thank you.
All right, John, Lou, Patricia, Alif. Very good. This is a new kind of experience for four of you because you guys came over to Chiang Mai, first time meet each other, and then you can produce this work. I think I should give it the most highest thumbs up. Very good. It's like a blind date thing, you know. All right, just to share with you, because if you refer to the 11 principles to doing a placemaking, because four of you, what you presented is now is not present a design, you're presenting creating a place. And especially I concur the idea about the bridge, that of course it's only one day things, but if you give it about maybe a week, I think this group can produce beautiful things, place at a bridge especially. But you have to remember, I just share it with you have to remember, to creating a great placemaking, we are not the expert. You know who's the expert? The people, the community itself. That's why I said the pitching ideas here, it was a great spark, especially for big architects in Chiang Mai. You can brought forward to the media. It's a pitching ideas. And then I admired about the group when Lou explained about the SWOT analysis. Same goes to the first group just now. To concentrate this space, the place, we need to find the issue. The SWOT analysis will help us to guide. Okay. Now, I really love what your introduction, John, when you start talking about the approach layers, and then 4 nations talking about the same food, the same approach about kueh lapis. I'm not sure in Thailand what we call it. In Singapore we does it kueh lapis and so on. So that's our culture approach, especially our 4 nations. With that approach, I think everybody will understand 4 of you, your ideal. Again, I admire your spirits and hopefully to looking forward in the future for you still keep in touch, and then all of the groups as well. This is a memorable moment. Congratulations and thank you for your mentor.
Okay. My reflection is quite similar to these two about your conceptual from the very beginning of the presentation that you talk about the layers. However, along the way until the end, I didn't really see the interpretation into the presentation, that how it linked back to the first idea. Yeah. That is something that if you have more time, then you can, overcome. The second thing that I really like, and I think if you focus more on that in this limitation of time, we can see more impact about the linkage, about the open up the space, about the drop-off area, which is really, if it can link with another project. This is a policy making, that how we control people in and out, where do they park, where the Grab drop off, which is really chaos, especially in the special event like Loi Krathong. Yeah, Loi Krathong, if you come in that Loi Krathong, you see that it's fun, it's festive, but it's also chaos. Yeah. So if we have the well organized and you spend more time, only that point, I think you make more difference in your presentation and the concept. And finally, I think at the end of the day, for every group, maybe we should really focus on the daily life of the people, because we always talking about the major festival, tourists, but sometimes the local people really need the space to relax, to breathe everyday life. Yeah, so it's another layer that if we touch, do some simple things, and then in the policy maker, they can extend, because it starts from the low budget and people can use. And the material that we have, like bamboo or brick, is not difficult to use, not too expensive. How can we introduce it into the policy making, like the mayor or the city? At the end, I impressed. I would like all the ideas to link together and come up with very fresh ideas. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the comments and my team. I think this too says about the bridge. I think through the discussion, they already designed something on the bridge, and they wanted to create pockets and then also like the stage there. Because of time constraint, and then the bridge also needs some design, and if possible, we can actually improve it. I think that's a key thing. It's like a link, right? With the words that we had earlier was a linkage, reconnecting the two. So, like you said, I agree that the bridge has to, because she actually drew it anyway, but we said we don't have time to look at it, but I think the rest, what they have done, they understand the place. In terms of activity, they asked people there, they had an interview with people, people there wanted picnics. They did say they want to sit there and have a picnic, and I really asked them to concentrate on the people there. Congratulations.
Yeah, next group. This is group number 3, right?
Hi, good morning. My group, the title of our project is called The Autonomy of the Local. We are under our mentor is Ajano, and I'm Gary from NUS.
I'm from National Institute of Technology, Indonesia.
I'm Sean from Technology of Government College University, Thailand.
So for the approach of our group, right? So actually we took a more phenomenological approach to the design intervention. So the priority is based on the local, their value, and how the reflection of the architecture, their architecture interiority is reflected on the exterior of the market. So we find that the ability for them to control and determine their own exteriority, right, is important to the design, as this is a site of very grounded context, and there are people there are authentic people there, and so like the autonomy that the local has, right, is the edge that the population there that have, and we want to strengthen this. And so our final design decision intervention is actually more of like a surgical approach to like a surgical intervention onto the site. So, and to maintain their individualized community at the two sides of the river. So it is to give them the option to connect, but not to do it through large formal intervention.
In the first, the analysis of the existing site, you can see in the note of the two notes of the boundary area. And in the first, in the region commercial note is the very big commercial of the boundary site, and the second note is conservation in the what gate in the conservation note of the boundary. And you can see in the red line is the main street in the left side, and orange and yellow is the secondary and the street. Each reason why up in the two sides. In the reason why in the left side is very busy, more than right side. And in this map it show is as a walk route from the every people in the everyday. You can see in the main route that to connect with the two sides is a bridge to connect with the two nodes, and you can see walkway and parts of the market, and the very the secondary node is like a retail and shopping like that, and that's those. Slide. In the next part, this map is show potential of the land potential of the boundary size from strength and opportunity. Show the potential. You can see this unique commercial with the blue, and have a main cultural commercial like Chinese, and the fabric from the Indian, and Thai of the Chiang Mai Lana sale. And the design is a unique residential. It's a very local architecture. You can see a Lana architecture and conservation is a big conservation design. And I think the opportunity of the boundary area is the walkability of the people to connect the two sides together. And I think it's the land potential is a high walkability potential of the size. And this map it show problem points for the business and trade on the side. You can see in the red line is this main street. It's very traffic jam because it have a commercial area this side, and you can see the walk maybe is very confused because this the market is very complicated to the walk. And you can see this car park, and this is a block walkable connection and the perspective of the two sides. And the trade of the side is I think it's the river, because the river will create this different feeling from between sides. I think the problem point is the connectivity of the both sides.
Swipe up.
So after the site surveying, like we started to walk from the market across the bridge to the Watgate district, right? So from the observation, we found a lot of many problems that can make this area have a lot of lack of useful and lack of attraction, because this area I think is a great location because there are a lot of various culture and various activities happening here, right? There are many empty space that very lack of useful beside of the street or more pocket empty space used to parking the cars instead of using for human activities. So this picture that can show us the huge concrete buildings is for just only for parking the cars. That shows us that the government pay attention on the cars more than the human activities. So we pick this point to be our main topic to study the project.
Swipe up, swipe up.
Yes. So are our main users. So we think that we need to focusing on the local list because there are already live in there. So there are many effects that can affect on them. So this is our master plan. They can show the parking building that we like renovate or rebuild to support our objective.
So now I'll talk about the urban experience as you walk through from one side of the river to the other, starting from the Warra market over to the Wat Kek. So as we enter the Warra market, right, it's a place. It resembles like a labyrinth. So it's not a space where like there's a clear distinction between like the interiority of the architecture and the exterior. So like you can see that there's a lot of like appropriation of spaces, and like the local they themselves already developed like a system of using the space. So to them, right, the exteriority of the image, right, is this idea of like ordered chaos that they are in control of. So this is the distinct characteristics of the Warra market, right, that give like tourists the idea of like the authentic like local experience. So, but as what was mentioned previously, as we cross over to the market, then we meet with this giant nationalized like building, which is actually a car park. So, this car park sits right in front of the waterfront image, which in some sense the waterfront image is a reflection of like the local interior. And this interior is reflected to be this like high-looking concrete structure, but they are unable to identify with this concrete structure and such. So they really hated this structure. So the idea, right, is to readapt this the nationalistic car park. So it's to be repurposed and envisioned as like a platform for the development of the local autonomy. So at the same time, it serves as a connection to the bridge, because the bridge, right, is actually elevated onto the second floor. But actually, as we all are on the ground side, we know that it's very hard to cross over. And then if you want to go over to the other side, you need to climb up the stairs and everything. And yeah, so like what our intervention aims to do, right, is to strip down this like nationalistic icon into leaving down like this bare, naked concrete and slab structure. So this becomes a platform to allow the reflection of the local interiority. So like reconfigurable, flexible units that will be designed by the architect in working with the local. And this is it is their version of what is the reflection of self onto the waterfront image. And with that, right, it can attach to these like naked columns that was stripped down, away with all these nationalistic icons that they are unable to identify with, forming the new waterfront image. So as this second platform, right, will extend and join to the bridge. So as we cross the bridge, right, the bridge itself has the potential to allow certain crafts, because it is a market full of like things like fabric, weaving, flowers, and this kind of thing. It has unlimited potential but not explored, allowing the whole local to develop using this structure, allowing them to develop their idea of like image. And the bridge itself, right, we wanted to keep this idea of like there's two distinct sides. And then because they are actually, whether to connect them, whether that's the right thing to do, it should be up to them to decide whether, and if they decide, it can occur as like a temporal event kind of thing. So it is like an architecture that happens during events. So through their transformation, using their local craft, they can cross over to a bridge, because now the bridge is connected to this elevated platform that was the car park that was repurposed. So on the opposing end of the river, right, it is a site that has actually a large amount of like negative space, white spaces. So these white spaces forms the potential extension of all these like temporal integration if the locals do decide that they want to integrate together. Yeah. So and finally, directly from this point of the axis, it ends at the axis of the Wat Kek, which is like it's a figure of authority, it's a figure that's on the urban state.
So it has the potential that we create this buffer zone to end at this Wat Ket itself. So the temple itself has the potential to represent and be the authority that's in place to control how much commercial will enter and when it will happen. Yeah, so this is like a conceptual diagram. This is like the labyrinth part of the market. So they will emerge from this like elevated platform, and then they will be connected to the bridge. And this elevated platform is like a public park open space of kind of thing with a flexible kind of like intervention that allows for the local to decide for themselves what is the waterfront image. And it can change maybe every month, every 3 years, every 3 months. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the elevation of the car park building. So this is the previous form or look of the car park building. And Im said that this building is kind of blocking the view from the riverside to the market. So we have the idea how if we strip off the existing architectural elements like the walls, the roof, and keep the existing structure and foundation, and adding some extension roofing structure, so it can be a modular structure. And the goal for this car park building, the transformation of this car park building, was to give the autonomy of the space back to the local, and allow them to determine what kind of events or activity that they want to emerge. And also on the second, on the ground floor, or the second floor, we still using it as the parking lot for the cars, and on the second floor. Actually, we propose to have functions to emerge activity or even like market, or maybe supporting local art in Chiang Mai as well. We provide a modular structure to create some kind of installation of the market that can use as the market stuff. So we hope it could create so many possibility or flexibility and diversity that could represent Chiang Mai identity. So this is the blow of the details of the elevation. Like after we strip off the architectural elements like the walls and the roofs, we have a clear. Finally, we have a clear vision of the building behind the car park, which is the market. This is the exteriority, and by providing the space on the second floor, so we hope we could provide events or activities that could gather the many diversity or many activity around the district to represent the Chiang Mai's identity, like the within craftsmanship, like the fabrics or the flower market. So we have extension structure right here, which is curve shaped, and we can hang maybe, and on the second floor we can hang some kind of stuff, maybe like fabrics or the within bamboo craftsmanship right here, and So this is the perspective from the sidewalk, from the riverside to the building. As you can see, this is kind of. So this is kind of the scaffolding structure or installation that could be used as the market installation. So actually this structure is kind of modular, so we can put it, so we can arrange it in different position. So this is the what can street. So as Gary mentioned before, that our goal was to give the autonomy of the space to the local and allow them to determine what kind of event or activity that they want to merge in terms of bringing by locals and for the locals. So we think about this area have some kind of possibility to emerge some kind of activity or events that have benefits for the locals in terms of by the locals and for the locals. So this is we can help some kind of markets event and sort of things like that. So I think that's our presentation. Thank you very much.
All right. I really admire this group because you came out with this approach a different angle now. Who's your mentor? Siri. Ajam Yasiri. No. Congratulations. Again, you four of you gathering within these few days, few hours, came up with this angle, perspective, and just to share with you as an architect. We only as a medium from the community to get in space, and we have an obstacle, especially for the policy makers, political makers, the decision makers. Nobody can declare, this is based on my opinion, I'm not sure about the others commentator. Nothing is right or wrong about whatever idea, teaching idea. Nobody dare to say, oh, your idea is wrong, oh, your idea is right. Nobody can declare that, because design is not something right or wrong. It's either bad or good. That's it. Yeah? Again, that. I mean, you have to agree with this. Whoever can dare to say that, hey, your design is wrong. No. Design is subjective. You know what I mean? But again, when you create a place like this, it's like a form supports the functions by observation, a few hours, and then you four of you combine your vision and then guided by your mentor. For me, you come up with a one-spot idea. You're creating a venue as a welcoming statement, and then people will appreciate the space and experience it, creating memories. And then they're going to listing all this, and then slowly the place will be, we believe that the place will be slowly closed. There's another place to combine this as another venue. Coming back to design objective, we want to enhance or rejuvenate the place and so on. But based on my observation back in Malaysia and other few countries that I export my service, sometimes, I'm not saying you're right or wrong now, it's only my opinion. Based on my experience, we thought that once we create the things and push people to use that, suddenly we find out that the place become another white elephant. I'm worried about that. I learned this based on my experience in Putrajaya, especially. The government, the policymakers said, right, architect, can you do this space? And then creating another mural, another sculpture, and we force people to go there. And suddenly, the place become, I wouldn't say negative, but suddenly people just don't realize that what's the value of that place. We learned that. But based on your approach observation, I agree with Art. It could be one of the combination elements for of these groups, and it can be concluded as one vision. This is one of the elements. I can say that I really love this approach because everybody talking about outside vista, but you consider one model there. I think there's another approach that we wake up this policymaker. We have to do something about this. Congratulations on that. You are very good.
I like the way that you choose to focus on this ugly building. I can say that. However, I have a question. Did you go into the building? Did you survey and did you ask people, or did you see that it's fully occupied? Lots of people. How many percent of the car that parked on that building in that day that you went? Can you give me the answer?
We actually got it from the local. So the local, like when people ask around, so they tell us that the building is always full and this kind of thing. So but then like when it was first built, they entered it. Yeah. So as in we because it's a one-day project, so most of the information is from like our guide.
Okay.
Yeah. So like we don't really have time to verify all these details. So it's more.
But you didn't walk up
we
and down inside, right?
Because like the whole idea discussion, we only arrived at this building quite behind. So it wasn't the first thing that we really say, okay, let's.
Okay. However, for the local point of view, it's really exciting if we can find out that in the future, next 5 years, 10 years, the way of transportation in Chiang Mai is shifting to be more sharing. Yeah, and we have trend. The world trend is going toward this approach, right? So maybe 5 years, 10 years, people use less car, and it becomes the abandoned structure. So it's very nice idea to ask people what do they really need in this area. It doesn't have to be market, because we are in the market, right? But it can be multi-purpose. Maybe they want sport complex. They want the fitness. They want basketball court. They want the children's center. They want so many functions. But I think this building is perfect to support that expect use in the future for the community, and then we can turn it to be whatever that you approach. Another thing is, I saw you mention about walkability. This is another very important issue. People will experience this two sides of the rivers by walking. I agree, totally agree. How can we make it more charming, link it with this structure and then walk up the ramp to the second new ground floor and then link to the bridge, cross over there. So again, when it linked to all of the project, it should come up with very exciting idea and fresh idea to propose to the people with authority. I like the idea. Thank you.
Actually, I really like this program. I think nowadays a lot of building in the world, that architecture in the world is turning to old, and one day you guys, when you grow up to be architect, your job will be some first time or second time you're going to do the renovate project. And the renovate is really important to focus in program. Actually, the trends of use abandoned structure to be a mixed-use program is already a coming trend. I think in 10 years, no more land to build in some countries like Singapore or some country that really developed already. The trend is the renovation is coming. and the way that you focus on program is really nice. And I see you guys have the link way, right? Link to the bridge way already. Yeah, I really like this program. I want to make this building also. But I know that nowadays, all traffic, and when we drive past, the traffic gonna be stuck in the entrance because everybody want to park the car and they want to grab something from the market. I really like the first floor that you clear off and the car can come through in the first floor. Some car that stays 10 minutes to drop off the flower to do something, you get to see in 10 minutes, not stay for an hour. And the second floor, there's have a lot of parking building in the world that successful with this kind of program. Like in Barcelona and America, they always mix the parking with the mixed use program, and this really made the space really potential to do new things. And I really like this program.
First of all, I just want to thank you everyone that from working hard and try so hard to get into and gain all the information for this program. And actually, I want to say thank you that you also give me a lot of new ideas and new, let's say, experience, how you can approach and let's say, give more some idea how to develop some place which is have a very, very high value of the characters and identities. So from the first, you take a lot of time to discuss and brainstorm of all the users' activities and all the main identities from both sides. Yeah, and then finally you can make it. I'm so proud. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much for the group before the last group. Okay,
Yeah.
so the last group will upload some files, while you guys can have we have a break outside. Let me just take
We have some coffee.
Okay.
Okay.
5 minutes. Okay.
Nóบอกไม่อยากเบรกเลยผมเสียผมเสียไม่อยากเบรกเครียดเครียดเบรกก็เครียด
She just can make a party tonight. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, like orange by the door. ไม่แต่ว่าอาจารย์ชอบมันชัดเจนคือเนี่ยมันสายอะไรเพราะฉะนั้นเราทำสิ่งที่ไม่ดีเลยซึ่งอันนั้นว่ามันจริงก็จะไม่ทันเดี๋ยวเป็นเราไม่ชัดว่าเราจะทำแบบอะไรก็ต้องไหนหยอกชอบใจเรียวเลยไม่ได้เรียวเลยใช่ไหมก็อย่างที่เหมือนภาพไฟนอลเราจะจางมาเทียบกับจริงมากไม่ต้องเปิดบ้านเราแค่แบบคือคนอ่ะเป็นภาพเข้ามาคนก็คิดมันไม่จำเป็นต้องส่งทางอะไรภาพปากต้องเหมือนใส่แบบความจริงไปในรุ่นดูเรียลลิสติกนิดนึงเฮ้ยเหมือน whatever it is มันก็เลยแค่นั้นที่จะติดมันเลยทำให้คนไม่เห็นคือสิ่งที่เราเลยมันสื่อสารกันไม่ได้แล้วก็เราปฏิบัติLain banyak banget. Oh, ini yang mana ya? Aku nggak tahu.
Khi mà còn thiếu ởอยู่แล้วก็มันดูชิดอยู่แล้วเอาพี่ที่ไม่ได้เป็นกรรมการเลยมันเป็นพอน่าเสียดาย
Padahal kita kan lama. Pas kita jalan kamu ambil apa?
Okay, ready? The last group.
Please. Okay, we will begin soon. Okay, so ready? Huh? Yes.
Okay, let's the timer. Ready? Okay. Let's start.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. We are Team 4 and I'm Seyong from Singapore. He's Ben from Bangkok. Thailand. Nicole from Malaysia and Rudy from Indonesia. So today I will present our project. It's called Linking Shanghai, Revitalizing the Historical Links of Shanghai. So our design strategy is first to activate the public space by reorganizing the landscape. Second is to reduce the traffic congestion by providing alternative transport through water taxi system. And lastly, discovering the coexistence between the ritualistic and the localized experience. So if you look at this area map of the Shanghai city, we realize the old city of Shanghai, and there's actually this area view that is very lost for tourists to actually understand what Shanghai city actually is. So when we walk through the space, we realize that the Mount Resort is actually the highest point of it's at this point, which is like the sacred relic of the temple from Thailand and the old city. So actually at the area here, there's actually a royal garden that the king actually built to pray to the Buddha for the blessing. So in our proposal, we actually have three very clear strategies, which is how we're going to work with the connectivity of the story of Chiang Mai. So the first one we identified is the ritualistic linkage, which Ben will share more later. Also propose an active path into the Pink River. And lastly is to provide a waterway taxi into the area, because what we realized on the site is actually there's a lot of traffic congestion in the site, and most of the roads are actually one-way roads. So even if you want to propose solution, it will be very difficult because you can't close off any road because it's only one way and it will affect majority of the walkway. So what we do is actually to propose a water taxi system. So I'll pass on to the okay, yeah, so the old city of Chiang Mai, as you see, Chiang Mai old city is actually a square, and this is where our site is. So actually one thing that we realized was in the past, the riverfront of Pink River is actually a very busy spot. It's actually a very busy spot where there's a lot of commerce activities into the space. But what happened is when we walked through the site, we realized that the activity only concentrates within the OCD, and there's a loss in the linkage between the OCD to the riverfront, and the riverfront is very much underutilized in the space. So the zooming space, and this is what we realized in the space. So if you realize in the development of Chiang Mai, when the city planning is actually by the king of Chiang Mai, where the development actually go sideways towards the right. So so this Pink River actually sort of segregates the foreigners of like the Chinese, the Muslims, and the Europeans from the old city. Not because of like any social segregation, but because the development of Chiang Mai is actually more or less is at an age really. So when foreigners came in, they actually had to like start from the other side of the area. So when we left the area, we realized that at the old city where the East Gate is, there's actually a very clear like temple path, like temple that builds along the space, and Chinese temple, because this area is like the Chinatown, the Muslim area, the Burmese temple, and also a church here. So there's actually a diversity of religion in the area, and this is actually something that we can potentialize in creating this like sacred warrior kind of pilgrimage for this Thai kind of religion. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay. So first, we come up with the ritualistic links, which is like because of this area like being at the heritage, having like lots of old temple and like really focus on the religious belief or something like that. And, it's kind of we want to create the spirit of the place that is like embodiment of the royal sacred pilgrimage that will like create some kind of peaceful to the people's mind. And also like it has like another opportunities of clarifying the wayfinding, like by using some elements in this areas, like to being like the ritual part in this area, and also like the starting point of this part is coming from this. This is the top hair Gate, which is the landmarks of the China, and then like coming to this road, which is having the very unique thing because it's having lots of people in the street. And then that connects to the what in and like the elements of the Buddhism symbolics in the project, which is maybe some kind of like triangle, which is like the triangle, and flowers for play for the food. So this is the collage of the how situation is going. This is like in the top edging, because we add the elements of the umbrella, of the flowers, and this is like more get into the level, but still use the same elements. And also like using the wayfinding, like we can recognize the places by the descent of the elements. Yeah, this is like when we get into it. Yeah. This is like the turning point to some of the flower shop. And this is another bridge that cross to the what in front. And the design that we use is come from like which is like being one of the Buddhist symbols, also like associated with the religions. So it's kind of connects. And actually this is the pagoda. And like this is the example of the playing flowers as well. Yeah. And that one is the talao or some kind of region situated in the and this is the situations in the last
which is across the river, so it links them directly to the river. And this is like a continuity of this ritual, this kind of path that tourists may not actually find it because it's like a labyrinth. Yeah, so this actually guides them to let them identify where are the temples by looking at the flora, animals, the spring animals. Yeah.
The next slide itself is basically he explained on the situation on this road whereby most of the temples are situated around this area. So if you look at trace back into history, that this area itself is this area and also that this road itself is activated with markets. So you have two gates here. One is the east gate and another one is the market gate. They call it, actually both are also market, but throughout the course of time, this road right here is now activated compared to this road right here. So developments in this area are rather slow. So most of the activities like events happens around this area itself. It could be maybe due to the shrines happening around this area. So most of the circulation is much more emphasized. So what our proposal here is, what if we could identify empty warehouses that it can be a proposal of urban infill. So the empty houses can also be maybe it's an art shop, or maybe it could be any of the potential commercial area to reactivate the area. It could be a restaurant, or it could be a boutique hotel, etc. Things like maybe create a pacemaker for the people itself, maybe, or try and to think an identity for the people itself to create more of Chiang Mai rather than commercialized for the Europeans or the foreigners.
Only you, Daniel. Not for you, Daniel.
So another thing here is the China area. So basically the thing here is to connect basically a loop that starts off from this link right here. Sorry. Then it links from along the river itself towards a link right here that I mentioned about, and back to the old city. So this is like a revitalization of the area of Chinatown, and also a collage. And these are the spiritual flowers that happens along the street. So you can see a lot of these elements happens around this area. Okay, so now I will pass this presentation to Rennie.
Our next proposition is the waterfront river revitalization. As we know that back then, when we trace back in history, this area used to be a
Don't use so many hands.
This area used to be a waterfront where people sell their goods, and there are no divider like the road between the water and between the water and the market. So we decided to revitalize the waterfront by adding the water taxi system. This basically is like interestingly, we have like two existing piers here. One is in the northern part of the market. It's the Scorpion Tail Pier. And then the second one is in the southern part. It's that is main river pier. Both of them are near to the car park. And we propose one more pier here that located besides our link. This one here, our proposed pier is aiming to indirectly link the market area with the sacred area, so that it is more living. Kind of like that. Oh, another thing is that our water taxi system, we aim to reduce the car usage in this area, so it's more greener by using the alternative transportation such as water taxi system.
Finish? Huh?
As I understand, you focus on three things. First is the installation that make the people recognize the city, like from the Thai gate until the flower market, right? The second one is the artwork that you want to interact with the warehouse, right? And the beach. And you add the pier to make the alternative transportation, right? The topic that I interested is about the installation, like the way that you get the cultural element, like the lantern or the umbrella to do.
Can you switch the mic? Yeah. Can we switch the... Just change the mic.
Okay. It's beautiful and it's hit the point of make the people recognize the city. There's a lot of cities that use this kind of language, design language, to make people recognize. But I think actually the installation can be something more beautiful. If you think in the realm of architecture, actually installation can interact with the people more than you just say. Many of installation, if they can do really high potential, it can stay with the local people and they feel and they interact with it. Interactive of installation, it doesn't mean you need a high technology or do something, but you really need to put it in the daily routine. Some of the cities they paint all the road to be one color. Like in Copenhagen, they paint the pink for make people interact with this type of space very well. Or some they use like they use interactive more than just something that's beautiful. So I think it's gonna if you want to one day you decide in installation like it, you can hit the point of installation that not just only beautiful but people can really interact with it. It's going to be nice for the city that not just beautiful. Yeah, for me, I'm quite interested in this topic.
I admire the way that you spend very limited of time searching for the information about city of Chiang Mai, and you can present in the short of time for us to understand the setting of the city. So this is very impressive. You look from the big picture and then narrow it down in very focus on three things that you would like to touch. This is very good, and spend short time to introduce and right to the point of you would like to present. This is good. This is you make the people with the decision making can understand what you would like to deliver. You try to talk about the policy, which is different from other teams, and it means that we have more choices to apply to our city. I like the way that you analyze and then propose I understand that limited of time, you cannot do much of the presentation. For example, the lack of that stupa, but everybody knows that it's there. Yeah. It's coincident because right now in the reality, people, new generation of Chiang Mai, they are revitalizing the same route that you propose. Yeah. The Chiang Mai. In next 5 years, if you come back, you see that it's totally different from nowadays. It's the old building, and I can see the future of this charming street, Chiang Mai, and it's really going to this way. Yeah, that you would like to propose. I like the way that you play with some like symbolic, and then define it, implement it to be that bridge. Yeah, I'm not sure that the mayor you like it or not, but I like it. I like you know, it's something that we have to have new ideas to the city. Old is we rejuvenate it, we make it classic, but we have to have new things. So I like this linkage. Water taxi. This is the thing that in Chiang Mai we really have to use our river and canal more effective, more useful. Not only looking at it or floating the gratong and make the garbage. We should do the taxi way, make it really useful, make more piers, make the interaction interchange from car parking, big parking, and have the multi-purpose area and then link to the water. So you can really use the water and people will take care more of the water. So at the end, I hope all of this can become reality, and I invest a lot. Thank you.
Alright, guys, I think this is what I believe. I think not only for this group and for all other groups as well, that you realize that this is the beautiful part when we gather around in this program, LDD. Everybody is like a blind date, and then we gather around in the quick seconds, you just speak up and then you combine your vision to improve this project. And I would like to congratulate all of you, especially this group, when you start to spark the vision that everybody should realize this. Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia. We always believe other method of urban approach or place making. You guys has begin with this. Our fundamental basic approach is about religion. Don't you realize that? It's about religion. I'm not comparing for other countries, but you already spark on that approach, and I am so proud for all of you to giving a spark about religion, ritualistic. This is another approach to all these 4 projects, and then it's a attraction about what you have presented when you show your design intention. It reminds me when I was in Camden Town, in London. They started to do this type of approach, and then when you wanted to go to this linkage approach, it reminds me that London Millennium Footbridge by Frank Gehry, when he started to approach that, and had a lot of impact on society, political and decision makers, policy makers, and so on. But what I can share with you by your presentation is coming back to the fundamentals. The fundamental elements that I can share with you, number one is about the needs. By historical point, the people want it's about needs. Secondly, it's about the culture that we, 4 nations, not only 4 countries, but the whole Asia, 4 Asian, we are very strong about culture, society, and then we also concluded with the climate approach, and last but not least about technology. But again, as an architect, and also as an urban designer, a placemaker, I always remind myself as well, and sharing to 4 of you and all the students, don't only eager about the design, because it's not from us, it's for people. The safety comes first. You know, the safety always comes first. And maintenance as well. So that one detailing. But what you have approached today, I'm so proud of you. I think I should congratulate your mentor. Where's your mentor? Where's your mentor?
Two. They got 2 mentors.
And I know he's your approach, and then with his guide, you should be proud of yourself. This is one sweetest memories in your life in LDDCMI. Congratulations. Your feedback.
First of all, I want to thank you all of you, any group that joined this workshop. And you do a lot that I think that I can imagine. Just thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's it for the presentation.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yeah, all done, everyone. Give yourself a big hand.
We have the photographer and video following us everywhere, right? Remember? We will have the highlights, but this is just a short version. We will have the interview version, a long version later. So we present the video now, and then after that will be certificate
hand out, yeah. Almost done, almost done.
Version, but then we upload it to the ASA page, so please check, right? Okay, and for the really final, we will have a certificate ceremony. Okay. So we'll start with enter, okay? And then I'd like to invite the president of the ASA, please.
ยืนตรงจอเลยยืนเข้ามาในจอเลยตรงกลางไม่ได้มันเป็นเครื่องเดียวกันมันเป็นเครื่องเดียวกัน
He has some
speech.
So, hello everybody. I think that this is a very great activities for our whole nation, cooperation. It's composed of Japan from Malay, SIA from Singapore, IAI from Indonesia, and ASA from Thailand. We are very close friends, and we have a very vision together. And we look forward for some new partner in the near future, maybe Vietnam, maybe. And today, you for the topic heritage creative city. This year, our mission of ASA according to heritage for ASA Expo next April in May to the 1st of May. So I think that today is one of the very good workshop and will be a special part for our Expo, Great Expo in April next year. So I would like to thank three commentators. คุณประวัติสันติยานุสรณ์คุณรัชดาอินแปลง and Mr. Adrenda Asis from Malaysia. I would like to thank all supporters from Chiang Mai University, Faculty of Architecture, students, lecturers, and also convener of LDDCMI 2019, Dr. An Ratapong Akasit. And pay respect to Dr. Thana Chirapiwat, Vice President for ASA. Nothing to say. I love you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, President Achapon. So that's a really good verse. Make love not more. So first I'd like to, so if I announce the name, please come up and get a certificate. Okay, so we begin with the mentors. Okay, Miss Gilia.
And
Next will be Senru Koi from Japan.
So from SIA.
From SIA, sorry. A little sleep. So architects should have more sleep. Okay, and then Miss Sarin Nish from Assam. And then Mr. Sarin Sonti from Assam as well. Surprised they have the same name. Sarin.
Can we have all four mentors with the president?
Okay.
All four mentors?
Can all four mentors stand with president? Clap. I'll go by the names, the country's name, okay? Patricia. Patricia. From EBA. Tim is next. Tim. Next will be Sean Duran. Sean. Then will be the next. Back Ponchai. Ahmed. Ahmed Alif. Liwei. This will be Liwei. Here we go. Next will be Nicole. Next will be Jonathan Lau. Next will be Clifford. This will be Lou. Then Ari. And then will be Imam. Last one we Rooney. And last one will be Rooney.
Group photo.
And student will be for a group photo, please.
Group photo, everyone.
Everyone. For the
every
group photo.
attendance. Probably hold the certificate.
Okay. Please, everyone.
Bring the certificate and
Bring
show
the
it off.
The younger stay in front, okay? Younger in front. Student younger. You look younger, it's okay. Volunteers.
Student helpers.
Come on, come on. They're really sleepy.
Your certificates.
One, two, three.
Wait, Salina.
Salina.
Without Salina, not happen this. A true president.
Okay, everyone smile.
Yeah.
One, two, three. One, two.
Say yeah.
Yeah.
One, two, three. One, two, three. One, two, three.
Thank you very much. And then remember, very last, remember that Rita talked about awards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We got some award for the best group.
Before awards, can we pass the souvenirs for that?
Sure.
Yeah, we have some gifts from Pam, Malaysia.
Okay, we got
for
some
everyone.
gift from Pam. Okay. Okay. So please, Indonesian, please come forward. There's a award. It's not a gift from Pam. Yeah. Indonesia, please come in front.
Indonesia, one rep.
From Singapore.
Singapore.
Singapore. From Singapore.
From Singapore, please come forward, Singapore.
Congratulations. Okay, from Thailand. From Thailand. From Thailand. Yes. Okay, Thailand. Mentors. 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 Mom, sitting. Mentor, it's for you. Thank you so much. We will get up. Support. It's for you. And for the student helpers.
Student helper ไปรับของ
For the student volunteers, we never forget. It's for you. Thank you so much.